Hey guys, welcome to Sutu. It is May 12th, and we have a few things to talk about, you guys. We had the Bitcoin halving, the much-awaited happening, happened yesterday, and a lot of people see this as a very bullish thing. I'll go over to the logarithmic scale macro trend here that I have outlined. I know I've pointed this out a few times to you guys. I have these yellow vertical lines as the approximate halving dates. And you can see what that kind of does to the price, guys. It's definitely a line of interest where the markets really explode after that happens. I mean, those are insane moves. I know I've pointed these out to you guys several times, but it's important because they're massive. And since I've been trading, this is the biggest pattern that I have seen because it started developing before I started trading. So that is really exciting to see. I'm excited to see how this blows up one way or the other, guys, because nothing's saying we have to go to the upside. This halving could be different. The space is different now. Shorting was never a thing in most of this price action here. That became a new thing at our top here. So that is something to consider. The other thing to consider, though, is that with these leveraged exchanges, technically there doesn't have to be as much money in the space to get as much buying action, right? Because people can trade with leverage, so there is technically more money in the space than is actually there. People can basically trade on uh, I guess, kind of a loan, like you're borrowing money almost. So that's one way I look at it. Of course, you guys, none of this is financial advice. Always do your own research. I am not a financial advisor. I'm no expert. I'm just telling you what I'm looking at in the charts and how I think this market could be moving. If I really zoom in here, you guys know I love these fucking purple lines here. I always show my lines in purple when I end up trading them, and it's looking like we're trying to get a close above one very soon. Should be tonight, if that's to close to the upside. If I zoom in even further here, I'll go to the 15-minute. You guys know I love it. Last time I made a video, I think we were actually in this yellow range, and I pointed out that it was going to be significant. I was hoping that we were going to get to the upside, and I wanted to play that. I wasn't as keen on shorting right now. I did end up taking one. I basically missed this whole move, though. You guys know that I have shown that before on other trades where I entered a trade. It was somewhere in this area. I played this very small move. But the thing with leverage, guys, speaking of that, is that this trade that I made in here, being I used 25x, I ended up closing a profit that was a bigger swing than this entire move. I hit over 20% in this tiny area when I didn't even get this whole move here. That was almost 20%. So had I caught that whole thing, it would have been over a 200% trade. Am I a little bitter about it? Well, yeah, of course, but whatever. You can't catch them all, right? Um, After that, I did play a long position in here. I had this little bit of a triangle form, basically a trend line like that, and I also had another trend line formed like that. I never took this trade right away. I never had confidence in the trade, but then when we had this triangle and we got above it, and you can see we actually tested it with a red candle and then a green close. We got our support test there. I entered a trade, and then to pick my profits, I extended this line from the top of this green wick to the top of this green wick, just looking for a potential price target. So I took my profits just under there on half the position, and then the other half was stopped out at break even. So glad I did, because shortly after we dumped down. Now, would that trade be doing good? Yeah, you know what? I'd still be doing, well, let's see here. I'd be at about break even-ish. But anyways, right now what I'm looking for, guys, is the close above this purple trend line. I don't know if we're going to get it. A lot of times, something that I've noticed, a lot of times if you get these flat tops or flat bottoms, that's quite often a sign that it's going to be a bit of a reversal. Even if you get a wick up and then you go down, like that's often a call for fake outs I've noticed. So I want to be aware of that. So I'm waiting for a good 15-minute candle close above this trend line. But this is great. This has verified already that my trend line is still very much in play. Let's zoom out a little bit here. You can see right at this very second it is acting as a line of interest. So that makes me think that that is a reason to be trading it if we get our breakout. That being said, guys, we also have this yellow support line. We did break it once here, got a bit of a fake out, and then got above and started trading above it and treating it as support. And that's a reason that I want to give this purple trend line a lot of attention now too. Is a move to the upside would not surprise me, because we tried breaking down and we got right back in. It ended up being a bit of a fake out. So I'm giving a little more weight to the upside right now, and with the halving, it's hard to say. I was honestly expecting a big dump today or even yesterday. And I mean, we had this one right before, but it hasn't dropped as much as I thought it was going to. So we're going to have to see. Either this will play out as a bear flag, or we might get this break above the purple line and a retest. If we end up getting above and then closing back below again, then I could see us running into problems with that turning into resistance and testing much lower. But we're going to have to play it as it comes, guys. Let's see, I have this yellow horizontal line here. If I were to take a guess, it would be some sort of a 0.618 fib line, a line of interest. Yes. So if we get my close above the purple line here, I would be very interested in taking a lot of profits slightly below that. So also, I believe 9200 has acted as well, you can see it's pretty significant support earlier, so that very well could be our top again. We also have this wick right here, so somewhere in there would make sense to top out. So I don't want to get too greedy and get too close to this 618. I like to give a little space just to lock in some profits, and then from there I can update my stop loss or change my position. Of course, I might see rejection on the 0.5 and want to start taking profits. My analysis can change very quickly on these smaller time frames, guys. But those are some levels of interest that I am looking at. Let me know what you guys think. Give me a like, give me a comment, subscribe if you have not already. Here, let me get out of the logarithmic scale here just to take a look at our weekly chart as one last thing, because you guys know that I have been pointing out these trend lines. We did get a bit of a wick. If you zoom into the 15, this weekly line is that white line that I was watching, and you can see that we did drop down pretty hard after we broke back below. We kind of failed our support there, which is one thing that would be concerning from a bullish standpoint right now. We're going to have to see how this weekly candle closes. I would like to see it above this white line. But I did draw this line out a while ago, and I have pointed out to you guys before. I believe I first mentioned it when we were trading right about here. And you can see that it is also just like my purple line earlier. It's very significant. We're battling with it right now. And if we do break above it and get our support, I don't see a reason why we can't break this line also, but it would not surprise me to get a bit of a pullback from it, because just like this white trend line, I have no reason to assume we would hit this trend line only twice. I feel like we'd get a third touch point before we hammer through, but again, we're going to have to see. Maybe, for all I know, this candle up here could close above here and get our retest and blast off from there. It depends if FOMO kicks in from this halving, or if we're going to get a retrace. Even if we get, I'm not saying we have to break out bullishly. First of all, we could be in a descending triangle, treat that, the base, as old support, new resistance, and we could plunge down from there. But more realistically, and it's funny saying realistically because I don't want to sound like a moon boy, but generally markets grow over time, and I don't think Bitcoin will be any different here from what it's been in its past. Generally, history tends to repeat itself a little bit, so after these halving dates, even if we drop down and form some sort of accumulation phase in these lower areas, I really think this triangle is going to break to the upside. Again, not financial advice, and it does not have to. I'm just looking far ahead. This is not how I'm playing it right now. I'm playing the shorter time frames. I don't have enough confidence in my long-term analysis, but I'm just telling you how I'm seeing and how I'm guessing that this is going to play out. Anyways, guys, that's a little long-winded, but hopefully you got some good information there. Again, leave a thumbs up, leave a comment, subscribe, and with that, stay safe, and I'm out. Peace.